My brain has no idea what the heck is going on, but hey, that costume design is definitely wicked. Yo, what is up my good people, and welcome back for a brand new video. Alright, and in this video today we got some creepy and bizarre TikToks. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get right back into it.
There's some missionaries, and I think it was in Ecuador, where they landed to this remote tribe and they got out on the beach, and the tribe was like, wow, you people came out of a flying bird. And the people were like, yeah, nobody could talk, so it was all like hand gestures, and they were like, try on a t-shirt, and they like, it was pretty friendly. They even took the chief of the tribe up in the plane, and they did it around and brought him back down. Like, yeah, which like that might like hurt someone's brain if they've never seen a plane before. And the missionary's like, well, hold on. We have like cotton candy and we have photos from back home. Like, here's our family. And the tribes take one look at it. They look at the photo and they go, wait a second, I see human faces. There's nothing behind this. And the chief goes, guys, it's black magic. Kill everybody. And the tribe murders all of them right there. And so when the missionaries didn't come back, like a week later, they sent out a rescue mission, and there's just dead people all over the beach. And years later, like a decade later, when this tribe eventually was taught Spanish and they were sort of brought, roads reached them. And of course, whenever roads go into a rainforest, everybody gets domesticated. Yeah. But they were able to interview the same tribe people.
No way.
And they said, what were you thinking? And they said, how the hell were we supposed to know? They said, you showed us a picture. So we never saw a picture before. They said, yeah, they were flying around in a metal thing and showing us pictures. They said, we just assumed that they were devil. So we killed them just to be safe. They said, we were a little spooked.
I believe the missionaries were told numerous times not to go. But man, helicopters and planes coming from the sky was all good, but yet a Polaroid is what had them shook.
If mattresses are toxic and you're sleeping on them for 8 hours a day, this is actually a large concern. Initially, when I transitioned to sleeping on a Japanese futon, I did it for that firmness. Like, that was the selling point for me. And it is the selling point for a lot of people. And through making videos, I've received thousands of comments, people talking about how it's improved their sleep, improved their lives. And then I started to see this thread of people talking about like, oh, I switched to these beds because of chemicals. And the Japanese futon I chose to sleep on was also 100% organic cotton. So I was already kind of checking that box. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I started to do more research on this, and kind of, I feel like, uncovered like a huge issue that we have in society. And it's becoming more and more of a popular trend that we're seeing. I want to say this, there's a lot of things that are toxic. Almost everything in our society is toxic nowadays. And it's easy to kind of get wrapped up in this, like, don't drink tap water, watch what you're putting on your body from soap, polyester clothing, and it can kind of get crazy in some sense.
I really want to know, what is the safe amount of toxic mattress exposure, and what happens if we exceed that? But yeah, futons are great, don't get me wrong, but they aren't the only toxic-free mattresses out there.
Now, when I tell you the planet is going through a shift, y'all, the planet is shifting. You cannot tell me this is something that you come across every single day. This is a piebald shark, a lemon shark. Look at this, y'all. Do you see it? It's they're calling it a piebald shark. Look at this, black and white, huh? I'm telling y'all, ever since the solar eclipse, y'all, things have taken an extreme shift on the planet, and the animals are showing it, y'all. The animals are showing it. All these white animals, these albino animals, these piebald animals, right? And then you see what's going on with nature. All the cataclysms that's going on in the world, and like I said, it's only going to intensify. What if this is a normal occurrence, y'all, and before we enter a new age, all these type of changes start happening to the animals? Because again, animals connected to nature, and they're the first one that's going to show us what's happening to this earth, what's happening to this world. And not just all these animals changing underneath the sunlight, because that's what the sunlight is doing. It's changing all of us. It's changing our DNA. And animals are connected to nature. They are the first ones to show us the signs, these changes. And I truly believe this is what's happening. We're entering a new age, new sun, new frequencies, new vibrations. And this is what's happening to the planet, y'all.
Something is definitely going on with the sun. Don't you guys remember back when the sun used to be yellow and hazy? Now it just looks like a bright white stamped on circle.
Did you know that processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, things of that nature, processed meats, they are considered a level 1 carcinogen? That's by the governing body that determines what is and what isn't cancerous. That means that it's in the same category with cigarettes, plutonium, and asbestos. In terms of what the ability to cause cancer, you're never going to see a commercial or even see a warning label on those type of foods.
My body has always reacted so weirdly when it comes to processed meat, and I've been trying to convince people to stop eating bacon for the longest time.
So we were riding a ride. This isn't supposed to be upside down like this. It's been like that for like already 2 to 3 minutes. I feel bad for them
everyone
because
that was
all the power is shut off on it too right now. This is scary. All right, update. They're still up there. It's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and they've just been hanging up there this whole time.
Yeah,
We just asked the lady at the bottom of the Ferris wheel if this has ever happened before, and she said no, and she said she's actually concerned for them. Oh, they just said Oaks Park. They just said the park is closed. Jesus Christ. Gee, they just said.
I could already tell you guys right now, I would be screaming my lungs out. Either that or I'd simply just pass out, one of the two. But man, so sad. I hope everyone was okay.
Russia is flexing its military muscles in Cuba, just 90 miles from Florida. A Russian nuclear submarine and 3 other ships entered Havana Harbor yesterday to conduct what they say are military exercises.
A surface warship and a nuclear-powered submarine arrived in Havana to a 21-gun salute, beginning what the U.S. expects to be the largest Russian military exercises in the Caribbean in 5 years. The submarine is also designed to carry guided missiles, but U.S. officials say there is no indication it is carrying nuclear weapons.
We, of course, take it seriously, but these exercises don't pose a threat to the United States.
Yeah, it got me a little worried over here. The government, of course, is going to say there's nothing to worry about, folks, but can we really trust this dishonest government that we got?
I'm kind of worried about this. It's not fine. He is yoked like a rock the whole his life. Holy smokes, guys! Listen to your lifeguards, I'm backing up! Come on, guys, get out!
Wow, these people have zero survival instinct. Did they not hear the lifeguard giving warning after warning?
I think the public needs to know this. If you're traveling this summer for vacation or for the holidays, listen up. As of right now, the FBI is hunting down 500 truck driving serial killers. Before I get into it, if you're traveling this summer, you're gonna wanna be cautious traveling on I-40. So this has been going on for the past 20 years, but it's ramping up. So the FBI is guesstimating that around 1,000 plus women have been murdered by long haul truck drivers. But that's not all. They also have murdered 2 couples as well at truck stops. And these are the weirdos they're catching. So this is actually a chilling last picture of this girl before she was murdered. Basically what they're doing is they're targeting SEX workers at truck stops and unsuspecting women. What they're doing then is basically torturing these women in the back of their trailers for as long as they possibly want to, and then they end up just murdering them. But the body count is just getting higher and higher. So far, the FBI has concluded that it's happening in North Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, all the way to California. Like I said, I-40 all across America. So if you're traveling this summer, be careful. If you are pulling into a rest stop on I-40, make sure your head is on a swivel, because apparently this is becoming a major issue.
Wow, I actually live in North Carolina and I take I-40 every day. But yeah, truck and rest stops have always made me feel uneasy. So yeah, it makes sense. Okay, that timing was just dumb perfect. His pupils got so huge from the utter shock mixed with joy. At that moment, I'm sure his inner child was so happy.
There is an entire area in Brazil. I think it's Brazil. It might be Argentina, but I think it's Brazil, where Confederate soldiers left after the Civil War and fled to South America. And there was a community of white Confederates in South America to this day. I watched a whole documentary on it, just blown away.
Are they just still there? Are they still
yeah,
racist?
No, today, yes. Very.
They're
dude,
still
that's
racist?
100%. Yeah.
After that many generations,
Yeah,
it's
no,
still like...
they took the L and they're like, nope, not changing. And then they went to South America and they're...
I thought that was Eddie Guerrero there for a second, but I believe it's called the City of Americana. I learned about it a few years back, but never really looked into it.
This is the warning video of Ziggy. See her stomping? She's letting me know that there's a black bear coming. She stops and she's listening. That's her yearling. Now she turns and looks at me and stomps. She's heading over to the bank. And all of a sudden, she gets scared, takes off running, and look who's coming up over the bank. Now here he comes. There he is. She's a good mama. She was warning me. It's amazing what wildlife can do. Here he comes.
I never knew that deer stomping meant that there's a bear nearby. That's so cool to know. I wonder how often wildlife tries to communicate with us, but we just don't know what they're expressing.
There's three main categories that I think people should know about Bouvet Island. So number one, there was this guy who happened to look at Bouvet Island earlier and he noticed that it wasn't labeled properly. So he thought this was strange. So he contacted one of his friends who happened to work at the Apple labeling for maps. And he said that this was an anomaly. All maps, all areas are usually labeled. And if this wasn't labeled, that it must have not been labeled on purpose. Number two, if you look at it on the maps, it's extremely pixelated. It's like somebody was purposely trying to cover that area up. There's no detail on the map. Number three is actually these images, and this is Bouvet Island over the months of this year, which has some weird tornado formations coming out of it. What's these weird kind of like vibrational looking things that are affecting the clouds? Here's another one. Here's another one. So what's interesting about this, bro, is that the scientists around are saying, oh, it's just a instrument anomaly, but then you overlay that with the satellite imagery and you start to see, well, no, there might be some weird kind of like sound artifact coming out of Bouvet Island.
This makes me so mad when I think about what it's doing to the ocean life. I've seen so many videos of whales and dolphins beaching themselves recently.
Baby carrots are bleached?
There is no such thing as baby carrots unless you pull a carrot out of the ground when it's a baby.
We're being fooled. They're just big carrots that are broken into small little chunks.
Pieces and sprayed with a chlorine solution.
What other products are sprayed with bleach?
All kinds of produce is sprayed with bleach and or other chemicals that may or may not be safer. Even organic produce, even the solutions at the grocery store when the little sprayers come on, that's not water.
Then how do we get safe produce?
Grow it. Farmers markets, CSAs, community shares. And if you want baby carrots, just pick them early.
I swear, here recently, I've been thinking about just starting to eat air. Maybe then I'll be safe. Like, for real, I don't know. One thing I know for a fact, though, is having your own garden is a real game changer.
You guys, something very strange and sinister is going on. I can't put my finger on it. We are 6 months into the year. I mean, how is that even possible? The days is going by too fast. The months is going by too fast. The weeks is going by too fast. It's like the moment I go to sleep, I'm right back up again, going to work. And I just want to know who else feels this way, because this feeling is so weird. And then it's like outside doesn't feel real. The moment you step outside, you get this weird feeling, like this weird ass vibe. Outside does not feel real. It's like everything around us is fake. Everything is poison. The food, the water. I'm starting to feel like time did a reset. And I bet you it has something to do with certain... And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I just paid rent. I gotta pay rent again? Y'all, I feel like rent is due every 2 weeks now. I'm starting to feel like it's only 5 days in a month. Listen, whatever it is that's going on, something ain't right.
I feel like this is so true. I've been noticing for years now, time just feels like it's sped up. Like years just keep going by faster and faster. Like half the time, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
This thank God I wore this today. When I fall in the hole, they'll at least see a
That
pumpkin.
is ridiculous. That is at least 50 feet deep.
How many?
About 50 feet deep. It's in the water.
Pony, can you help me a minute?
Holy shit. There's another one up front.
The air hammer stuff on.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to build a house there anytime soon. This reminds me of the guy that had the sinkhole open up right underneath his bed. And yeah, they never even found him. But I've been hearing about a lot of sinkholes here in Florida recently.
1872, Rockefeller bought up, shut down, or bankrupt 90% of the oil companies. Our good old Constitution came into place, and in 1911, the Supreme Court found Rockefeller in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act and split Standard Oil into 34 independent companies. So they said, you can't have the monopoly on this, you're done. You think that changed who he was? No. He promised to bankrupt America. At that very same time, they were learning how to turn petrochemicals, exactly what he had at his fingertips with the oil, into pharmaceuticals. Now, John D. Rockefeller's biggest threat was natural health. So what does he do? Being the businessman he is, he donates money to the medical schools because he wants to control. And what do you do when you want to control someone? You give him money. And then he hired a guy by the name of Flexner to study the school's curriculum, to figure out what they were teaching everybody, and to persuade the government to establish allopathic medicine, which used the unnatural substances to treat diseases. This is how Western medicine was found.
The same thing is happening today, and with eyes wide open, you could easily see it. Too much of that evil greed is out there in this world.
Ever since Barack and Michelle Obama made that movie, Leave the World Behind, I started to research this man, and I'm starting to think that he could be the Antichrist. When he was running for president, his slogan was, "Yes, we can." But I found a video of "Yes, we can" reverse, and it means, "Thank you, Satan." It's a lot of spiritual teachers that really believe that Obama is the Pharaoh Akhenaten. And I ain't gonna lie, once I started doing research and looking at this man's face, he looked just like him. Akhenaten was the 10th Egyptian guy. He created a new religion, and this religion was all about worshiping the sun, or the sun disk. The reason why I use the word sun disk, because I want people to understand what's really going on. Ever since they made that sun simulator, this whole planet been different. That's why you hear so many religion people say they are waiting for the return of the sun, but not Jesus, the sun simulator. Once they put this sun simulator back into the sky, this was a message for Akhenaten. All you had to do was look at the photos. It's damn near identical. They always say it's nothing new under the sun. Everything that happened back in Egypt is happening right now. The movie Leave the World Behind, it was a big sign letting you know who these people really are. All of their predictions in that movie is coming true right now. So who told them about this? Did you know that all presidents from the United States is related? They have the same bloodline. I find it real funny when they get on TV and they want to debate each other and bring each other down. They are all one big ass family.
They all eat dinner and break bread together, but yet they act like they're so against each other. Do you really believe our votes dictate anything these days? Because to be honest with you, I don't.
A lot of the gurus, ancient gurus, Buddha, they would say that if there is war going on in your reality, even if it's in another country, another part of the world, it's actually a reflection of your subconscious. This is deep esoteric stuff we're talking about now. Everything that's going on in the universe outside of your own being is essentially your subconscious. So in a way, we're like, we don't know what our subconscious is doing, but like it's literally like pumping the blood through our body. It's doing all types of other things in other realms, right? It's doing all these things without us really knowing, and we just trust that that's what's happening. That's basically what's going on in your outer reality, including the wars and the injustice and everything. It's somehow a reflection of what's going on in your own subconscious. The more that you work on yourself and illuminate your subconscious so that you're conscious to more of what is dark, the less war and the more peace you will find in your reality and in the world and in the universe.
I feel like this man is 100% correct. I've actually had this intuition a lot. Like we're just living out the drama of a failed love story or something. kayo lugop. This is why you don't order Will Smith and Martin Lawrence off of Temu. Yeah, this has got to be like AI or something, probably using that Reface app. But yeah, still wild to see what technology can do nowadays. All right, my good people, hate to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button below the video. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And one last thing, but don't forget to let me know all your thoughts about this one down there in that comment section.